Hello, Rec27 and welcome back to Combat Mission at Battle for Normandy. We rejoin the 9th Cameronians in yet again the defence of Normandy, this time in the Crescendo of Doom scenario. So we're heading into episode 3 here. We're about 50 or just shy of 50 minutes of the way through this hour scenario, and it has been a ding-dong of an engagement thus far. So it's been predominantly an armoured engagement to date, and the scores on the doors are 6 Churchills of varying numbers and a 17-pounder to the Germans, and then on our side we have knocked out 5 Panzer IVs and 1 Jagdpanzer. So fairly even thus far. I mean, it's essentially 6 armoured vehicles each, and we know I think 2 or 3 other Panzer IVs kicking about here. I think we have 1 Panzer IV and I'm going to say I think it's 3 Jagdpanzers still kicking about there. Also, we can't see them all at the minute. But that's about it. So we've definitely chipped away a lot at their armoured elements that we know about on map, although I'm kind of expecting them to field some more later on. Apart from this, we were braced for quite an extensive artillery barrage, but it hasn't really happened. We did lose a forward element through some artillery in this farmhouse, and aside from that, it's been some sporadic artillery nicking a centre map, but nothing which caused us that much concern. The German infantry, and you see lots of kind of potential contacts here, hasn't really threatened us yet. Obviously started to maybe encroach in a few of our positions, but really our infantry's been doing a reasonable job of just keeping their heads down. We had made a bit of a strong point in this wood, and that's definitely where we've seen the infantry casualties to date, and the troops that are left there are a bit they're a bit thin on the ground in terms of their capabilities. Not many automatic weapons, but enough to hold us for just now. We are going to support this position. So towards the end I did notice this machine gun fire, although in my hurry I got it wrong around. I thought it was the Germans actually having a go at us, but it was in fact this Bren carrier was returning fire on this German position. So that's good. We're also moving one of our Churchills up to support this infantry push, or hold off this infantry push, and I've decided to move a couple of my reinforcements into position. So I've grabbed first section. I'm going to swing over here and support from this hedgerow. Again, that's a pretty poor defensive position, but I'm hoping we're not going to have to be there for too long, especially with the armoured support. And I've got third section here is going to move up initially to this hedgerow, and then we're going to push them up in behind. Depending if we get a big German push, they can either hold this hedgerow here to obviously injure anyone they see coming through the woods, or alternatively we could swing them out to actually take position along this hedgerow and start to engage some of the Germans within the field. No, so we don't want risks of coming too far forward. Is obviously if we take position along this hedgerow, then it opens up any units that they have at their back can engage with us, whereas here obviously they're engaged with the units in our back. So, you know, not a definite move we want to make, but certainly an option I want to have on the table. Meanwhile, everything else is kind of just holding position. We've got a few, we've got no direct engagements at the minute in terms of tanks. We've got a few possible shots coming up. So we've got this chap who's got his perennial keyhole through these buildings, and we're potentially waiting for a Jagdpanzer to roll across his front, which would be nice. On the other side, we've got this absolute champion, so he's taking out 2 Panzer IVs who have rolled into his set lines, and we'll see if another one appears in a similar place, which would be lovely. And then we've got some 6-pounders who are just straining to get a good look at a tank coming their way. So there's still a few possible angles of engagement, but nothing too exciting at the minute. So that's our knocked out 17-pounder. Unfortunately, he did get 1 kill before he fell. Yeah, and see they can't see any tanks, just checking. Okay, the other bit we're waiting for is artillery, which we were promised a little bit after 10 minutes, which hasn't arrived, so we're still waiting for that to appear. And that is about it. Everything over here, just infantry is just holding position. I'm really waiting to see if and when the German infantry make their push. So yeah, let's crack on without any further ado. Hit the big red button and see what transpires. A lot of loading. I guess something's going to happen. Because he is moving across, it would be good to see if we got our keyhole shot away. But I'll not click off, I'll try and let the minute play out before I make any changes. Panzer IV moving up to the side there. Something chunky had a shot. Oh, surely we've got sight on some of the guys here. I'll have to look at that. Quite a lot of small arms fire on the go here. That's a shot at already dismounted tank. Yeah, again, pushing up, interesting. He should expose his flank to some of our positions over here. And looks like over there as well, okay. Fairly ballsy move by the AI here, but fair play to them. Okay. Ooh, interesting, interesting. So I want to have a quick check of some of the sightlines here. Yeah, if I come down to the old keyhole time. Yeah, okay, he is slightly further to the left from where this guy's come in. Okay. I did also want to check what your sightlines are like. Alright, so you're much further forward. I'm sure someone else had some reasonable sightlines. It was you. Okay. A few trees and things getting anyway. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. What about you, son? You have done sterling work thus far. I'm pretty sure you can, in fact, see this guy. Yeah. So you've not spotted him yet. Obviously, this dismounted one or knocked out one in the front, disrupting the view there, which could go against you if it acts as cover. You have an opportunity there. Now, I wanted to check because there was someone got some shots away. We paid better attention as to exactly when that occurred. Let's play through again. There's a shot over here, which I'm assuming came from this chap. Oh, there you go. He got sight of this Jag Panther despite his position. That was a terrible first effort. And then you lose him in the tree, behind the tree. I mean, it's not an easy shot. I'm not just too disgruntled. Okay. And then over here we're just, yeah, supporting an infantry. Who and what are you? You're a crew of one of the tanks. Okay. You take some small arms fire. Which? Oh, hopefully you have a crew of this tank actually. Well, you just rest your weary head for now. I'll have you guys advance in front. Let's go. Am I happy to go command phase? I think so. So we've got a reasonable number of Germans pushing in here. Oh, no, I also want to check one last thing. Apologies, no more jumping through. It was... we took casualties here. There it was. Is this just small arms, or did someone... probably just these small arms actually from this direction. And of course it's a brain gun I need to get. It's always a brain gun I need to get. There's the infantry over here actually. Small arms by the looks of it. Sorry, the small, of course small. It looks more like rifle fire than any kind of automatic weapon. Okay. Just try and get some more information that we can see. They are really stacking up on here. I think we'll keep putting some fire onto this part of the hedgerow. Alright, let's jump to command phase. I've seen enough. Battalion mortars, brilliant. Let's have you. I will like you to move up just in front of these guys. Let's grab, say, you. You can't see that hedgerow, really? Slight surprise by that, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can see that hedgerow. That's annoying. So they'll engage units which they identify, but they haven't seen them yet. Okay. Meanwhile, you've still got plenty of HE shells left, so why don't you spend another minute or so blasting the snot out of that position. And are you still quite happy to shoot them? You are. Let's keep that up as well. Good. These chaps will hold where they are. And yeah, I do want to... A little precarious, but I would quite like to bring you guys up to the edge of this wood just in case these guys get overrun. Then we've got a bit of a second line of defence. Because what I don't really want is our tanks getting kind of grenaded in the side. That would be decidedly unpleasant. Let's try and break you guys up a little bit. Okay. Good. Anything else I want to do with these mortars? Well, that's an interesting question, actually. So we had, because originally we talked about hitting this kind of tank position also, which doesn't exist anymore. I mean, how long's the call-in time? 5 minutes. That's pretty good. It's only 3-inch mortars. We could do something just like, you know, hit this area, impact these guys coming down. I mean, we could do something pretty straightforward, like saying, actually, do you just want to nail us in this open field? There's clearly an infantry push going on over here. Anything else interesting we could maybe do? What other sightlines have you got? No, I think this is our kind of best option. So we could drop them into this field as well. Do some of that. That's an interesting proposition, actually. But no, what I think I'll do. We've got a reasonable number of infantry support over here. What I'd like to do is I'm going to grab them both and I'm going to drop into fire mission in kind of this area. Yeah, I think this is good. I'd like to go... Let's go for a heavy... no, actually not. Let's try that again. It's medium and long is what I wanted. I mean, this is pretty close. There's definitely a risk of being hit ourselves. Okay, go for that. Could have also not used both tubes. I do have another FO somewhere. I think he's lurking in the back. He is indeed. But I think that's going to be a good use for our initial mortars. We do have some other artillery assets coming in later. Meanwhile, I think we just have to tell you what. Actually, I'm going to get you to... You are opened up already. Oh yeah, I missed the commander sticking his head out. Oh no, there he is. Okay, we must just hope he gets his eyes in, and yeah. I'm not going to bring you forward at the minute. I'll keep you where you are. Could potentially get the tank guys to go back in that, because presumably, potentially the gun may still work on that. I'm never sure with these dismounted tanks. Sometimes it can be worthwhile to reload the crew in them, and also use them as just a gun emplacement. Like this one here, it's only dismounted, it's not destroyed. Although where your crew is, I don't know, presumably they've run miles away. Oh, the panic still. Okay. We'll bear that in mind. Oh, my Vickers is open up. That's good. I don't often get seas in combat. Maybe we'll start with having a little view of this Vickers spraying away. There you go. Nice long avenue of sight. Beautiful. Obviously not going to react to that range. We'll get the job done. Right. Sustained pressure coming in here, and there's that troublesome Panzer which took out a tank back here despite the fact we didn't think you could see him. Something we'll have to keep an eye on. Yeah, looks like our keyhole... oh, lots happening. Keel Churchill having a bit of infantry. Looks like we got penetration over here. I'll have to go and check that. Oh, brilliant. We've got support troops moving up. Please don't get machine gunned by our own tanks. Wouldn't be the first time I've done that. And a hit on the weapon mount. Okay. Because the thing is, if we can hold off these positions, we've got a couple of tanks with a reasonable flanking view onto this field. Actually a couple of tanks. We've got at least one. And possibly some brain carriers, which will do a good job of just mowing down infantry if we can deal with our armor elements. Right, that was That was a lot going on. Things I want to check on. Right, so... Excellent. That's a nice little position. Can we give him a round for fun? Nah. Okay. Right, so over here is probably the most exciting part of things. Because, yeah, I think you got 2 hits away. Right, so you started not seeing anything. Just make the spot. Nice. Nice hit. Is that... Oh, there you go. Well, I was about to say, you're definitely not going to see return fire. I mean, we know he doesn't, but it makes me laugh because the number of times I've looked at a hit like that and gone, their main gun's definitely out of action, and that's obviously come back to haunt me. Right, then the reload. If you like, lads. It's not a bad rate of fire. Second shot, goodbye. Panzer number 3 for this guy. That is pretty impressive. Not the Panzer I thought he was going to spot, to be perfectly honest. There is actually a lot more Panzers over here. Jeez. So we've knocked out 3. And we can see 4, 5, 6, 7. Oof. Okay. May your rounds hold out, and as well as your luck. Because again, you know, he can see. Zoom in. It's difficult, but you can definitely see that tank behind. A bit tricky there, right? Reset my camera. Alright, so that's 1 good tank kill for no returns. Yes, I want to see what happens with this guy. Actually, there's a round comes in there. Oh, you got the first sight. Okay, obviously the frontal armour there doing its job. Got a dismounted tank, which I think might have been the one he was shooting at, to be honest. Let's go back and see where your shot is aimed. If you can see it coming. It doesn't hit anything, but that's not really the point. Let's have a look. Yeah, it definitely looks like he's aiming at this tank rather than this one, which I am all for. I mean, he takes one in the front, but obviously shrugs it off. Now, again, where did that actually hit? Okay, so yeah, there is a chance, and it's got to be a good chance, but that does knock out the main gun. No, even if it doesn't take the tank out. Certainly, we'll see if he fires another shot. Hit his gun again. Okay. I'd like to think we're going to be okay there, but... well, you all know. You've seen the previous scenarios. I would also like to think we're getting somewhere close to having some side-on views. Right, let's... you... don't like you. Presumably one of the HQ tanks. In fact, what's the risk of you being able to see? Shouldn't really be any of you being able to see through there. But I definitely don't want to roll my tank up against that because you'll just get pinned. Okay, let's go to command phase. I wanted to check. I'm okay with you guys having a go at the infantry running along. What your view was like. See there. Okay, so it has to go a little bit further forward. So that's about it. Just a few sporadic places. Which is fine, Obviously, depending if they just stop, that's a bit of a problem, but they may only have kind of 2 tanks left, 2 vehicles left here. This now may definitely becoming the greater threat. It would potentially have been nice to have got this guy into play, but I don't want to bring him forward into a field of view because obviously it's much more advantage on the stationary tank watching than it is on the one moving into target, so I think we're just going to leave things there. There's a lot of infantry coming at us. Okay. I'm pretty happy with things are. I'm going to get you to change your target again to... not to here? Really? Is that just because of the smoke? That's frustrating. Alright, I'll get you to clear target, hold your ammo, that's fine. Can I switch up your target? Not really. Yeah. That's a silly thing to do. I'm going to be shooting my own people in the back in a minute. You can do that though. Good. You're supporting there. We've got some artillery coming in. Good. I'm pretty happy with this. Obviously starting to see some infantry over there, but they're so far away from our front lines, I'm not concerned about it. Let's roll on. Really interested to see what happens over here. Oh, some of my guys get things in the open, but thankfully we're getting into position. Artillery falling really far back. Okay, yeah, this looks like another hit on that same tank. Starting to hit the buildings my guys are in, which is to be expected. This standoff still worries me greatly. Oh! Something got hit. I checked over. You've seen him. Question is, what, my friend? What did you hit? Okay. Yes! Fantastic! Panzer number 4. This guy going for MVP. Where did that strike? On the turret. Oh, there. Oop. Okay, that's gonna be one more dead Panzer. Nice. I think this guy gets nailed a couple more times, or at least one more time. From our Churchill over here, but not having much luck at making sure that Churchill doesn't get reused. Yeah. It's just pinging off that Panzer. Yeah, Panzer even. Yeah, you're 75mm AP, not doing huge amounts. Okay. You guys are still hiding, you guys are not. So you guys have found some more friends to play with, which I'm happy with. Meanwhile, some Germans in the open. These guys, I'd love it if they could unsurrender, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, an MG42 still up there, although they're pretty badly hurt. Not that we have a huge amount of fire going out back in the other direction. These guys are at least unpinned, which is something. Not sure about that, because I don't really want to push too far beyond this position. What have we got? So we have a couple of riflemen who are up against this hedgerow. We've got a rifleman in that foxhole. A rifleman. A reasonable unit here, and the commander. That's not a huge amount of firepower going out against these guys. But they are, a lot of them are going to have difficult sight lines, so I'm quite encouraged with maybe the Germans to close the range. And we can start, there we go, if we can take out this HMG and other supporting elements as they come and foolishly line up against the bocage, and that would be good. Yeah, I'd be happy to keep hitting this until these guys go away. Okay. And honestly, the guys with infantry crossing this field are just going to have a bad time. Is that another round out? Well, it is another round out. Okay, well maybe that's a good place to start. I clicked one or did I miss one? I think I missed the button. I always get worried about clicking it twice because that'll skip to the end. No, I definitely missed it. Right, here we go. Less an issue in this game, that happens more in Cold War. Well, it seems to take a little bit longer to churn through its outcomes. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Good job.
Hello, Simon, out.
Okay, we've got another Yadpan's moving support. Now this is dangerous. Obviously he's going to have a working gun. It'd be great if he gets into one of the sight lines from our flanking units. We shall see. He might get spotted by one of the guys over here if he's not careful. Interesting. I'll need to check that. Seems like a good place for the mortars to fall, although we've got a couple more minutes before they do. Hey! Watching our hiding Piat teams suffered here. So that looked like that was our Churchill 5 there, flanking. Right. I think that was about the excitement of the round, to be perfectly honest. Nice little side-on keyhole position. Ah, not really keyhole. Covering the flank, beautiful. Which puts them down to one hopefully unworking Jagdpanzer and one working Panzer IV in the centre position. And still with 3 Panzer IVs over here and the one lurking at the back that we know about, but I feel like that's a reasonably well dented armour asset. Assets, I should say. You, my lad, please keep... Yeah, sure. You keep please hitting that. And you guys can actually go for this one instead. That is good. Oh, I meant to check what happened to our Piat team here. Obviously, I think they got found out by someone. Again, hedgerow is reasonable for concealment, but not for much more than that, and you've had a bad time running away. Which I think isn't going to end that great for you, I'm afraid, mate. But hey ho, what I should do is get someone like you, get you into a better position for support. Actually, here would be a good position. Well, maybe not. Can you guys see the Germans coming? You can, yeah. Might not be a bad position for an automatic weapon. How are you going to get there? Is there a gap you can use? There is. Okay, good. That's fine. Make sure you're not going to go any kind of a nonsensical route. Alright, things are looking alright. I don't want to make too many changes. If it ain't broke, don't fix it and all that. We'll continue just to hammer the supporting elements here and invite them on a little bit closer. And in the meantime, hopefully we'll just keep picking off their armoured assets, of which there's not a huge number left. Well, that was actually so it looks like a spotting round that's off target, but a fortuitous way. Now they have set up an MG position here, which might be nice to hit. So, I definitely went for the rounds over here, didn't I? Okay, you look like you're about to drive into trouble, which I'm 100% okay with. This is, I suppose, the downside of the AI. Human player would never give the order after having lost him to flanking shot. And you look like you may be driving in trouble as well. Looks like we got away with it. Now hoping at some point our 57mm Churchill here is going to get some interesting fields of fire. As well as potentially our 6-pounders. But yeah, our lads in the actual objective here are starting to take a lot of frontal fire, which we knew was going to happen. They were always on for a bit of a beating. Although it wasn't too bad. Right. Just going to go straight into command phase. We're going to go at least cover one more minute. What? Yeah, okay, they've all gone past you. You're still quite far back, aren't you? However, how are you lads feeling about life? Let's check all that. I mean, I'd say you should get something. Definitely be able to spot that. But hopefully you do. And you take a shot. What about you? You guys are not having a great time. Presumably I think you're copying some machine gun fire from that farmhouse. Which is fair, but at the same time, if you do manage to get yourselves unpinned, I mean, okay, that's much harder, just with the curve of the hill there. So I will let you off. Now what would be nice, but perhaps is a job, well, I don't want to expose you to panzer fire. I'd like someone who is available to put some rounds into that building. But I don't want to distract anyone who may have to deal with some tanks. Who can actually see you? This chap can. And... oh, you can. Okay, interesting. It's not the end of the world, actually. I think we'll let them hold those positions there. If we can take out these last couple of tanks, then we're a bit more freedom of movement. I don't want to endanger a tank just for the sake of trying to take out an MG position. Okay, have you recovered your senses? Partly, because you've stopped running away, but at the same time you decided, I'll stop running away and lie down in the middle of the grass. There is a lot of Germans coming. Right, tell you what, just get yourself... it's not a great position, but at least get yourself over here somewhere. You should start be able to put some fire out on those guys encroaching. We do have some mortars on the way. Ah, yes, I was interested in... some of these chaps can see. It's not the greatest. But what about you? No? It's never. Okay. This is the one we think is broken. No. No, this one looks fit and healthy. Are you the broken one? Ah! Okay, it was the broken one we eventually killed. So this Yad Panzer is definitely fit and healthy. Alright. That's definitely a threat. But one that is not far away from taking a beating. Okay, without further ado, let's go ourselves one more minute. Again, I think our defense is in reasonable shape. Let's not tweak too much. You know, I'm happy to absorb a little bit more before we try and kind of do any kind of counterattacks and knockout blow type shenanigans. We may have to drive these guys out eventually if we do manage a foothold. Someone's got hit over here. It was a dead tank, isn't an even deader one. Oh, it's a Yankland over here as well, okay. Surely this guy's getting some sightlines of him, though. Whoa, mate, what are you doing? Check that. Right, how someone's got to see this stuff. Okay. Right, I definitely feel like we are riding the full force of the German attack, but oh, hello. Right to the death. Is that you finally getting your act together? Looks like it. So they get there. Just takes a bit of time. And to be fair, that's a fairly wooded view. I might let you away with that a little bit. Oh, you can see two of them actually. Oh, he's taken one out at least. I mean, okay, that perhaps that tree's getting away. I thought you would have seen more of them as we drove across your front. Just sworn I saw a symbol for a Jagdpanzer here, but maybe I was just making a mistake. It is indeed all just Panzer IVs. No, here we go. Got a tank destroyer over here as well, so it looks like they're heading... I mean, where are they going to go? I suppose they could come all the way through and out here. Which may be bad news for my 17-pounder. I have to tilt him round so he's facing a better way. And I may have to look at your orientation as well. As well as potentially bring you back to the front lines. Okay. There's a lot of infantry starting to appear. But hopefully our mortar rounds are about to start falling down. I'm less worried about the kind of guys coming supporting in here. As long as these ones are probably going to cause us a few more problems just because we have less troops in around. But there we go. Right, we are in pause. Let's go through to... Anything else worth talking about? Nah, I think we're okay. Let's go into command. Let me check you and how you feel about over here. You're not a fan. I'm sure you can see that. Oh, hello. Maybe not, to be fair. I'll have to give him his due. That's that is not a position you can see. What about you? I'm a little worried you're about to be pinged. No, you're being saved again by the lie of the land. Okay. I'm going to get you to face slide just in case. Meanwhile, I think I'm going to have you reposition yourself ever so slightly over this direction. Hiding behind this guy is a bit cover. And again, just try and get eyes onto that area to try and push straight through. Awesome. Apart from that, I think it's going to be... Oh, I forgot to check what happened with this guy. Yeah, I don't know. He just... obviously got scared of something. Maybe he gets eyes on of a tank. Possible. It's possible. I need to decide what to do with you. Which I will, but I'll probably do that in between episodes. I might use them to maybe come over here and do just provide a different angle of support. Seeing that, I'm feeling less like the need of bringing you over to support against the main thrust here. But there we go. But that can wait until next time. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. I feel like it's going pretty well. We're continuing to... We knocked out... Actually, yeah, that went really well. We knocked out, what, 3, 4 armoured vehicles, or tanks, for want of a better word. I don't think we took any losses that round. Alright, that episode went really well in hindsight. So hopefully we can halt the German advance for the next one. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all next time. Cheerio!